our goal today is to share an initial glimpse of this IGVF data resource that we're building together as a consortium and to help understand both what IGVF is producing and how we're envisioning sharing this with all of you and the broader research community. So our overall goal is to be able to look up a variant and find information about how that variant might affect regulatory elements, genes, protein function, cell types, molecular networks, and phenotypes, and facilitate efforts to connect variants to functions to phenotype. So we're approaching this thinking about a few different use cases, and we would love to hear from you at the end what we're missing. But one key user would be a genetics or clinical researcher who's studying a particular disease and wants to know, what can the IGVF resource tell me about my favorite variant? Or perhaps I'm a computational methods developer. I'd like to reanalyze all of IGVF data to, let's say, retrain a new model to identify and interpret variants of uncertain significance. And I want to know, how could I download or query predictions about such variants, or download at bulk all of IGVF data about coding variants? And another use case would be, perhaps I'm an experimental researcher and I'd like to apply some of the same methods developed by IGVF to study my favorite gene or cell type. So where can I find protocols and pipelines? So at a high level, we're building a resource that we'll focus on today called the IGVF catalog. And before diving in further, I wanted to acknowledge the leads of the catalog development team, Ben Hitz and his group at Stanford, Daofeng Li, Shane Liu, and Ting Wang at WashU, and Feng Wei at Northwestern University. They've been leading an effort that's really involving all of the consortium, but really building tools and web portals to expose this data and resources and methods to the community. And we recently published a paper about this first version of the catalog that you can find here. So the IGVF data resource has three major components. We're going to focus today mainly on the catalog, which would be the website where you can go and look up your favorite variant. And there are different front-end websites that are being built by different IGVF or other external developers. The catalog is pulling data from a catalog API, which includes tables of data for bulk download, as well as a knowledge graph linking variants to genes and phenotypes for computational queries to IGVF data. And then all of this is built on top of the data portal, which is the repository for raw data, methods, protocols, and all of the initial files that representing IGVF and external data. So we've begun populating these different resources. For example, the data portal includes a few hundred IGVF datasets and many external datasets. And this knowledge graph already includes billions of nodes and edges. We're going to focus mostly today on the catalog, but just wanted to make you aware that the data portal and catalog API also exists for certain use cases. So the IGVF consortium started in 2021. We've been producing data and making predictions for several years. The DACC built the data portal and has begun to develop the catalog. And so here we are today. We're expecting that this is an early version of the catalog, but ready to share with you. And we're excited to hear about the different use cases that this might enable. So without further ado, we'd like to dive into introducing a little bit more about some of the current capabilities of the IGVF catalog. Here's the sort of front page where you can search for a variant, region, or gene. And if you'd like to check it out during the talk or afterward, you can find it at catalog.igvf.org. With that, I'll hand it off to Andreas.